It's a pleasure to welcome you to another informative and insightful edition of NAFDAC and Your Health, where we bring you the activities of NAFDAC, the agency that is in charge of the administration and control of food, drugs, cosmetics, and medical equipment, and also ensures that they are always suitable for consumption and use. My name is Amanda Ugo. On today's edition of NAFDAC and Your Health, our first focus is the efforts between the Danish Veterinary and Food Administration, the NAFDAC counterpart agency of Denmark, to deepen their bilateral collaboration in the field of food and feed safety, and then we'll bring you the feature on CODEX Technical Committee meeting in preparation for the International CODEX meeting on pesticide residues that came up in June. Partnerships, collaborations, synergies have all been hallmarks of NAFDAC's activities, particularly since the inception of Professor Mojisola Adeye's headship at the agency. These have no doubt helped the agency's great achievements and exponential growth in the quest to safeguard the health of Nigerians.
NAFDAC's goal is to safeguard the health of our people, of Nigerian people. However, with that is quality standards, international standards. Our mandate is to control the importation, exportation, manufacturing, distribution, advertisement, sale, and use of our 7 regulated products. And NAFDAC is not an island. NAFDAC is in the community of regulatory agencies globally. Therefore, we have to adopt global standards. So, with the drive to ensure that the health of our people is maintained, is also to use international standards.
It is in furtherance of this that the NAFDAC DG signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the South Korean Ministry of Food and Drug Safety. The signing of the MOU was done with the Minister of South Korea, Yoo Young-oh, to enhance cooperation in the field of medical products, pharmaceuticals, medical devices, and in vitro diagnostics. Also in the same vein, NAFDAC and the Danish Veterinary and Food Administration, under the umbrella of the Ministry of Food, Agriculture and Fisheries of Denmark, began a bilateral cooperation in the field of food safety and feed safety. The collaboration had begun with the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between NAFDAC and the Danish Veterinary and Food Administration.
It is my distinct honor and pleasure to be here today in person to welcome you to our agency and to have the opportunity to deepen our ongoing collaboration by the signing of the MOU between our organizations, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, and Nigeria, and the Danish Veterinary and Food Administration, DVFA, Denmark. NAFDAC and DVFA have already established a friendship and started a collaborative engagement on knowledge and capacity building, I just said that, even before signing of this MOU. It is on record that several NAFDAC officers have participated in training activities in Denmark, while our Danish counterparts have had the opportunity of visiting feed and food facilities in Nigeria. This is a testament to the good foundation that has already been laid for a successful strategic sector cooperation project in Nigeria. Over the period of this cooperation project, our partnership will focus on strengthening and promoting bilateral cooperation in the field of food safety, particularly in the areas identified in the MOU. Therefore, through this MOU, we have agreed to cooperate in the following areas: feed management, risk-based food safety management, regulation of food, feed business operators, traceability, use of veterinary drugs and antibiotics, capacity building. These are not exhaustive, as inclusions may be made on further areas for cooperation as agreed by both our organizations within food safety's farm to fork continuum. As NAFDAC, we commit to bringing in our strengths towards successful implementation of the project. I'm confident that both sides will complement each other through this MOU by sharing knowledge, skills, data, lessons learned, and best practices for mutual growth, benefit, and sustainability of our food safety systems.
The leader of the Danish delegation also spoke on why Nigeria was chosen as a worthy partner to collaborate with.
Denmark re-established the diplomatic mission in Nigeria in 2014. From the very first moment, the food and agriculture sector was one of the priorities in the re-establishment of the diplomatic mission. And we have been engaging in different projects from the Danish embassy since 2014. In 2020, it was decided that Nigeria should be a preferable partner and select a country for a strategic sector project. And since then, we have been engaged, finding the right partnerships. We have had a very close dialogue with NAFDAC for a long time. We have a similar dialogue with the colleagues in FMAT, and we can tell also at this meeting we are actually also fairly close to conclude a MOU with FMAT, so we cover the food value chain even broader with a strategic sector project.
With the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding, a warm relationship and collaborative engagement between NAFDAC and DVFA was formalized, and capacity building and activities to the advantage of the two agencies kicked off, and then in July 2024, a 3-day program of activities was held.
We are having this 3-day meeting to further progress on our collaboration by continuing the task of developing a joint work plan.
Part of the features at this event was a virtual tour of Amobing Nigeria Limited, of the successful animal feeds producing companies in Nigeria, by the MD of the company, Dr. Agbola Belgore. The meeting culminated in the Strategic Sector Cooperation Workshop.
I thought as a start that I would just give you a brief overview of what this strategic sector cooperation is all about. Some of you have undoubtedly heard it before, but I thought just a short recap might help us. What is the background? So strategic sector cooperation is a tool that we use in Denmark, that was launched in 2015 by the Danish Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And the idea of it is that we have what we call sector cooperation between us, in this case the Danish Veterinary and Food Administration, and you and NAFDAC, on issues that pertain to our everyday life and work, where we believe that there can be benefit from both countries in collaborating.
At the workshop, a presentation titled Existing Coordination and Collaboration Between Competent Authorities in Nigeria by Mrs. Eva Edwards, the Director of Food Safety and Applied Nutrition, was delivered on her behalf by Mr. Nassar Abdullahi Agungu, a Deputy Director in FSAN Directorate. Dr. Ramatu Momodu, the Director of Veterinary Medicine and Applied Products, spoke on the gains of the workshop.
Well, there's a lot to gain because we're going to build capacity. We're going to get knowledge and skills of international best practices concerning food and feed safety, concerning prudent use of antibiotics. As I said, we will try to, we already have some guidelines, but we'll look at the guidelines as it is done in Denmark and see what we can learn that we can domesticate in our own documents and in our own environment.
I think that the topics we're talking about, both food safety and especially antibiotic resistance, are global, cross-border challenges throughout the world, and it's part of the Danish strategy to work together with partnering countries to reduce, for instance, antimicrobial resistance, but also to improve food safety across the world. And Nigeria is a key country in Africa.
NAFDAC and Your Health continues after the short break. Thank you for staying tuned. You are still watching NAFDAC and your health.
Pesticides are killers, particularly among low-income earners. This is why the issue of pesticides is a major concern to the CODEX committee, a committee seen to the Codex Alimentarius, which is a collection of internally recognized standards and codes of practices guiding food safety. To address the issue of pesticides and their dangers, the National Codex Technical Committee on Wednesday, 15th of May, convened a meeting to prepare Nigerians' delegation to the 55th session of the National Codex Committee on Pesticide Residues, scheduled to take place between the 3rd and 8th of June 2024. Delivering the welcome remarks on behalf of the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, the Director, Food Safety and Applied Nutrition Directorate of NAFDAC, who represented the NAFDAC DG, said pesticides are among the major causes of death by self-poisoning.
In recent years, scientists have been particularly concerned about the risks linked with residues from the application of pesticides or due to the abuse of pesticides in the environment generally. Since they are intrinsically toxic and can be unwittingly spread in the environment, their production, distribution, and use in food and the environment is of critical importance. Programs for the regular monitoring of pesticide residues are necessary. Safe and quality food is a fundamental right of humans, and feeding our growing population in these times, we all know, is a challenging feat. Attaining food security is challenging. To increase food production globally, the use of pesticides is seemingly inevitable, as evidenced by the current rise in their use. Consequently, there is a significant challenge in boosting food production while keeping residue levels of pesticides below maximum residue limits. The Codex Committee on Pesticide Residues is responsible for establishing maximum residue limits for pesticides in foods and play a vital role in protecting the consumer's health and facilitating international food trade.
The DG, speaking through the FSAN director, also reminded the gathering of some guiding concepts for the work of Codex Committee on Pesticide Residues.
I start with risk assessments for pesticide residues in food, which are conducted by an independent international expert scientific group, the joint FAO-WHO meeting on pesticide residues, the JMPR. These risk assessments are based on all data submitted for national registration of pesticides worldwide, as well as all scientific studies published in peer-reviewed journals. After assessing the level of risk, the joint FAO-WHO meeting on pesticide residues establishes limits for safe intake to ensure that the amount of pesticide residues which people are exposed to through eating food over the course of their lifetime will not result in adverse health effects. These acceptable daily intakes are used by governments and international risk managers such as the Codex Alimentarius Commission, the intergovernmental body that sets food standards, to establish maximum residue limits for pesticides in food.
The stakeholders who attended the meeting also gave their goodwill messages.
NIFS as a body is at the forefront of ensuring that there's affordable, available, safe food for Nigerians. And to that extent, we play a very significant role in the food value chain across the globe. So the issue of pesticide, which actually constitutes one of the major components of food safety from farm to fork, is something that is also very germane to us because we are highly committed to the concept and issues of food safety.
Pesticide residues play a significant role in ensuring the safety and quality of our food supply chain, and it is imperative that we establish clear guidelines and regulations to protect the health and well-being of our citizens. These meetings serve as a form of collaboration knowledge sharing, and consensus building among experts in the field.
NAQS is dedicated to setting food standard, and in any way we can assist. Now we are talking about One Health, the animal health, the plant health, and the environment, which are major components of global health. And also pesticide, as we know, are a major component to achieve global health and well-being. And so in our own capacity, we are ready to put in our expertise and to assist in moving this country forward. So on behalf of my Controller General, please accept our sincere well wish and also fruitful deliberation as we go on.
Robust deliberations followed the presentations, and the attendees wished the delegation preparing to go to China a successful trip.
The Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, has reiterated that efforts of the agency under her leadership to rid the Nigerian market of substandard and falsified medicine is a continuous one. She added that NAFDAC is determined and resolute to be ahead of violators of the agency's regulations who seek to profit from their nefarious trade in illicit medicines. Professor Adeyeye said this on Friday, the 7th of June 2024, after the arraignment of persons arrested for dealing in falsified and substandard medicines before the Federal High Court in Kano. The suspects are Amao Gideon, Alomono Godwin Okudili, Hilary Ona Paul Chigozie, and Gidison Healthcare Limited. They were all arraigned on a 5-count charge of manufacturing, sale, distribution of substandard and falsified medicines. These syndicates are involved in the manufacturing, distribution, and sale of several falsified medicines stated below. Asian ampicillin 125 mg 5 ml powder for suspension for children, 0 active ingredients. Erythromycin 125 mg 5 ml powder for suspension for children, 0 active ingredients. Atyl Gold Artemether 20 mg plus lumenfantrine 120 mg 5 ml suspension for children, 0 active ingredients. For clarity, from the NAFDAC Kaduna Laboratory Services testing, there is no trace of medicine in the formulations. This puts the patient in danger of treatment failure and possible death. In addition, the products were not registered by NAFDAC. The numbers of the products are fake, so is the manufacturer's address on the label. The illegal factory located in Tafa Town, Tafa Local Government, Niger State, has been sealed. The illicit trade was uncovered following information and discreet investigation that led to the arrest. The suspect, however, pleaded not guilty, and the case was adjourned till the 14th of June 2024. Professor Mojisola Adeyeye said NAFDAC maintains zero tolerance position on substandard and falsified medicines. She craved the partnership of all well-meaning Nigerians and lovers of humanity in the fight against such unscrupulous manufacturers. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has sealed Jar Foods Limited, a rice processing facility, for not complying with manufacturing practice in Niger State. Pharmacist Shaba Mohammed, Director, North Central Zone of NAFDAC, ordered the sealing of the facility during the agency's routine inspection of facilities in the state. Mr. Shaba Mohammed explained that although the facility was registered with the agency, the production environment was unhygienic without good production manufacturing practice. The rice processing facility has been sealed and given compliance directives for complying with the ESTAS regulations for which they were given to produce and certification. Mr. Shaba Mohammed said the place is unhygienic and they are not doing production according to good manufacturing practice. The Northwest Zonal Office of NAFDAC in Kaduna, under the leadership of the director, Mrs. Josephine Dailem, took the war against the proliferation of illegal bakeries, packaged water, cosmetic products producing facilities to some local government areas, Kaduna State. During the sustained surveillance activities carried out at the different locations, some illegal outfits were caught producing unregistered products in the southern part of Kaduna State, Zaria and Kaduna Metropolis, without NAFDAC's marketing authorization and under poor good manufacturing practice and poor good hygienic practice. These illegal and dangerous practices, the zonal director said, could pose serious health risks to the unsuspecting members of the general public. Different teams of regulatory officers shut down and placed on hold some of the illegal outfit production line in Kafanchan, Jema local government area, Koi local government area, Jaba local government area, and in Zaria and Kaduna Metropolis, Kaduna State, during the surveillance activities. NAFDAC, in collaboration with Sokoto State Committee on Food and Nutrition, on the 3rd of June 2024, a 5-day engagement to complete the drafting of the Sokoto State Food and Nutrition Policy. The initiative, which is supported by UNICEF and chaired by the Sokoto State Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, aligns with NAFDAC's food security drive, and this explains why the agency is fully collaborating with the Sokoto State government on it. Following an intelligence report received by the NAFDAC office in Kaduna, an unregistered petroleum jelly producing outlet was located, shut down, and packaging materials found in the premises were confiscated. The director of the North Central Zone, Mrs. Josephine Dailim, expressed dismay and wondered why some producers of NAFDAC-regulated products refused to take advantage of the magnanimity of the agency under the able leadership of the Director General, Professor Christiana Mojisola Adeyeye, to enjoy the waiver granted to all those having expired licenses to renew them without having to pay a late renewal fee before the 1st of April 2024. Said the current leadership of the agency is working hard to ensure that incentives are given to customers to ease some difficulties they are experiencing in their businesses. During the enforcement exercise, 6 illegal bakeries, 2 sachet water producing factories, and 1 cosmetic product facility had their production lines shut down for different violations, and different administrative charges were imposed on the defaulters to serve as deterrents to others. Mrs. Dailim therefore warned others to desist from such dangerous acts, and that anyone caught breaking the law of the agency will be sanctioned appropriately, as the agency is not relenting in achieving her mandate of safeguarding public health. She further advised members of the general public against patronizing unregistered and expired NAFDAC-regulated products because of the potential health risk they pose to the public health, including kidney failure and loss of hearing and so on, for bread produced with potassium bromate and microbiologically contaminated drinking water transmit diseases such as diarrhea, cholera, dysentery, typhoid fever, and people risk having cancer after prolonged exposure to dangerous chemicals in water. She said they should always check for NAFDAC registration number, batch number, manufacturing date, best before date, direction for use, storage condition, and other registration requirements chasing products. That was NAFDAC update. You have been updated.
That's our package on this edition of the program. Another informative package will come your way again, same time, same station next week. Meanwhile, if you have any information on peddlers of unwholesome, fake or expired food products, drugs, cosmetics or medical equipment, please reach out to NAFDAC.
You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded.
Producing, importing, distributing, marketing, advertising or selling of unwholesome, fake or substandard food products, drugs, cosmetics and medical equipment are all against the law as they put the health of the Nigerian people at great risks. Please stay away from acts like this. Till we meet again next week, stay blessed.